Hello everybody and welcome back to another episode of Ben the Human Plays Vagrus The Riven Realms. We're here in the Dwarven catacombs and we're gonna go talk to our dwarf friends, maybe? Allies? Anyway, a meeting between my cousin and the other leaders of Doomgarok's denizens is about to take place here, Drala explains. I was tasked with ensuring nobody from the outside interferes with that. That's why I won't allow your whole comitatus to enter just yet. The gathering is far too important for us, and some participants might get the wrong idea. However, I think it's best if you see it with your own eyes. Who's who and what they're trying to achieve here. The works. I wonder if it's not like a gathering of different dwarven houses, and if like an armed squad rolled up, they'd be like, what the hell is this? Especially non-dwarves. While talking, you walk across the first of the great halls that make up Khazran's district. The ceiling of these enormous chambers is so high that above you the darkness obscures it, and the mighty pillars that hold it up seem like petrified trunks of giant trees, crowned with a canopy of shadows. Occasionally you pass pipage or machinery that has deteriorated into unrecognizable piles of debris. Over centuries of neglect, anything that was not too heavy to move was pilfered long ago, down to the last iron sconce. The original dwarven decoration has either faded away or been intentionally damaged. Here and there you spy strange effigies and foreign-looking sigils etched into the ancient stone walls. There's new life in Doomgarok, and I don't mean the spiders, Drala continues the conversation, noticing you observing the markings. A tribe of wayward orcs moved in decades ago and established themselves in the old agricultural caverns on the lower levels. They had some trouble with the spiders, but that's about it. Everything would have been fine if not for a bunch of dark elves who appeared on the doorstep one day, claiming the ruins for themselves. They are from some city in Everdark, or whether they are outcasts or colonists is difficult to surmise. As you can imagine, they and the orcs have been at each other's throats since their arrival. Their fighting has agitated the spiders, and now they're all over the old city. And we're stuck here. You ask Drala if that is why Karendar, her leader, wishes to conduct negotiations. Oh, are they hosting the dark elves and the orcs to be like, hey, knock it off? The spiders are mad. That's the long and short of it, Drala confirms as she nods. If our expedition is to ever set out, we need supply lines and an outpost to be the origin of the supply chain. Doomgarok is by far the best possibility for such an operation. Perhaps the only possibility, even. Imagine our shock when we arrived here after years and years of careful planning to find warring natives whose incessant fighting prevents us from setting out toward our goal properly. The city could provide us with everything we needed. Mushrooms, water, meat, shelter for those of us who'd stay behind. So Karendar has to find some sort of a solution to this conundrum. Oh yeah, I would love a city up here that I could resupply at. That'd be awesome. There's a few moments of silence and then Drala sighs. I must admit there's more to it if I'm being honest, she says after a while. Ever the justiciar, Karendar feels compelled to leave this place, the home of our forefathers, in as good as an order as possible. He finds it hard to hand Doomgarok over to these strange colonists to begin with, but to see it gutted further by foreign hands is something he can't bring himself to. Besides, with the spiders infesting the bowels of the mountain and not going anywhere anytime soon, we need allies to defend our outpost. And of course, fighting either orcs or dark elves by ourselves is something we can't risk. We're no slouches in battle, but most of us are explorers, craftsmen, and researchers. Well. You need a guy who's really good at killing people? You tell Drala that you understand. The rest of the long walk across the dark, echoing city is spent in silence. After a while, you move into side chambers off the main halls, and you begin to hear raised voices from nearby. It sounds like a heated debate, and Drala's expression confirms it as much. We're here, she says softly, passing more spider corpses impaled on makeshift barricades. She dims her crystal lantern some and whistles curtly. A moment later, two dwarves step out of the shadows, a stone's throw ahead. They nod when they see Drala, and after she signals to them that you and your companions are no danger, they wave you through. You emerge onto a balcony overlooking a large hall lit by braziers and crystal lamps. A set of stairs leads down into the lower level where a gathering has assembled. The source of the shouting. This must have been an antechamber or a garrison with several exits, but someone has removed everything except some stone benches and barricaded all but 3 archways leading elsewhere. Each of these is guarded by grim-looking dwarven warriors whose mismatched suits of armor have quite a few metal pieces. The gathering appears to be made up of 3 distinct factions. The most recognizable are the dwarves, due to their smaller stature, braided beards, and polished helmets. They are also the quietest group, except for the fair-haired Iruki, who you recognize. She is embroiled in a shouting match with the leaders of the other 2 groups. The others either belong to the Orcish or Dark Elven delegation. The former wear peculiar tribal garb that includes pieces of spider carapace, while the latter are clad in dark iron armor, their lithe frames adorned with blades and spikes. We should stay here and let Karendar negotiate in peace, Drala tells you, but you can see that she herself is unconvinced. Your gaze searches the crowd for the dwarven leader. Oh. Hold on. There we go. Took a second. Down there, second archway from the left, Drala tells you, and you finally spot who can only be Karendar. Clad in leather armor over chainmail and holding a decorated helmet at his waist, the leader of the dwarven expedition appears grim and determined, also fairly annoyed. He steps forward and holds up his left hand. When that does not silence the arguing orcs and dark elves, Karendar opens his mouth. Enough! Restrain yourselves! His booming voice jars all around him into shocked silence. Then, after a brief moment, Karendar's features soften and his voice becomes calm, almost warm. Dwelling on your enmity will not lead to anything but sorrow. If we are here to get anywhere, we must set aside our differences. That was the reason for this gathering. Agreed. A younger orc in a shamanistic headdress adds his voice to the discussion. The spirits are agitated. We should becalm ourselves to becalm them. That is Tarhek, leader of the Venomous Fang tribe's shamans, Drala whispers. There's a lot of voices going on here, so I apologize if they get mixed up. Are your spirit lackeys bolstered by the specters of the murdered members of my clan, witch doctor? A tall, scowling dark elf with a cold voice replies, and several orcs begin growling, angrily right away. That would be Mathoras Duskai, Drala tells you quietly, mage and diplomatic aide of the Sardakran clan, though I don't see any contributions from him that would further diplomacy. Another elf, a soldierly figure in dark armor, waves his hand dismissively at the mage, but it is too late. Lies and accusations, the apparent leader of the orc, a chieftain of powerful... Oh, another orc says... I gotta give him a deeper voice. Something powerful. Lies and accusations. The apparent leader of the orcs, a chieftain of powerful build, snarls, preposterous coming from a band of marauders stealing into our homes. Please, Karendar steps in decisively before an argument can spiral out of control again. It is evident that he's having difficulty controlling his rising ire. We've just been through this. Chieftain Rock Brawl, Enkral, Aethus, Sardakran, leaders of their respective factions. Drala leans in to elucidate. Indeed, the Dark Elven commander says. Oh, there's another Dark Elf in a measured tone. There's so many people to voice. I can't do it. I'm going to try to lean into the Dark Elf, Orc, and Dwarves separately, but I don't know if I'll be able to manage it. Let us hear what Karendar has to say and offer. Our people would both benefit from peace, Tarhek adds and bows his head, but his chieftain does not appear convinced. Only the weak and treacherous sue for peace, he growls, turning to Karendar. I think I can keep up with that guy's voice. Which one are you, dwarf? Would you prefer us to sit idly by while you take the city for yourselves? This is nonsense, Rock Brawl, and you know it, Karendar says evenly, clearly annoyed by the accusation. We've never been interested in taking these halls for ourselves, and our goal lies elsewhere, nor do we have any people to spare for a senseless war. Oh yes, so our needs and goals should be subjected to yours, is that what you're saying? Matharis chimes in with a sardonic smile. That's not... Karendar is about to lose his temper, but his reply is cut off by an agitated yell echoing down from one of the tunnels. Almost immediately, another cry comes from another corridor, clearly from someone in distress. A horn is sounded in the darkness and the dwarves raise their shields. The orcs and the dark elves draw their weapons and cry treachery, but Karendar bellows over the clamor. We are under attack, all of us! Just then, bulbous pale white forms drop from the darkness of the ceiling. Nightmares made manifest. A horde of horrifying giant arachnids assails the gathering, indiscriminately snatching away orcs, dark elves, and dwarves. Drala rushes towards the stair, intent on supporting her cousin. Several spiders drop onto the balcony, intent on cutting you off from the other fighters. Yeah, we're gonna try to help these people. We're good at fighting. I think we can kick these tiny little spiders' butts. Oh, we only have 2 people. I forgot about that. All right, hold on. Can I move you guys around? Nay. Okay, well, we've got this dude. His name is unknown. I assume this is Drala over here. Begin the fight. Round 1. Fight. Chain lightning, of course. Oh, they barfed all over themselves. Haha, evasion. Don't move over there, Gorgoro. You need to protect the archer. Let's try to go for this guy in the middle. All right, what are your moves, Drala? You've got, what is this? Take aim, improves crit, improves accuracy. We've got crossbow shot, flash bomb, and scout's retreat. So that only matters if she's in front, I assume. We could go for a stun. And I think I will, because I don't think I'm gonna kill this spider. So stun that spider, good move. And Dwarven Enforcer, we've got Enforcer's Assault, Fierce Strike with a metal weapon. We've got Provoke. We've got Protector's Stance, and then Shield Smite, which also could stun. I think we'll try to stun this guy too. Double stun on the spiders. Good dodge. Ah, we've been entangled. All right, Gorgoro, finish this dude off. Oh, no! Chain lightning. Ooh, nice crit. That guy evaded right back into the zone. Can we flash bomb again? Because we got 2 dudes that are stunned. I'm just gonna stun the whole spider brigade. All right, I don't think I can stun anybody else because he can only hit the guy in front of him or this guy. I could stun that guy, but I didn't. Not too bad. Another entangling web. I just assume that makes Gorgoro slower. Findrath is just slowly gonna electrify the entire spider field, so. 1 spider down. 2 spider down. Who's this spider? I don't think I can attack that guy, so I will hammer this dude. Or axe him, I guess. Oh, he moved to the front. Let's try to flashbang him. Oh, he didn't get stunned that time. Unfortunate. But he didn't hit me. Get wrecked. Oh, he's evading me. Clever spider. I don't think they can attack from the back row. I think they can only shoot web, which doesn't actually damage anybody. Nice! That was clinical. We supported Drala and we kicked the butt of all the spiders. Gained loyalty. That's right, because you guys like to protect people. I picked the right squad. With dozens of pale spiders slain, the arachnid foe retreats at last, but before they withdraw, however, the abhorrent creatures drag several of their victims away into the darkness of the ancient dwarven halls. When the dust settles, each party counts at least half a dozen of their slain or lost. That's a lot of people. It took 18 people? Holy cow. This does not prevent them from immediately turning their ire upon each other. You, the orc chieftain spits, turning his glare on Karandar. You set us up. I had nothing to do with this, the dwarf leader yells, having lost his temper. Ours were taken as well as yours, can't you see that? How convenient, the dark elf mage adds his baleful voice to the clamor. A tribe of spider-worshipping savages arrive at this pathetic peace talks with a horde of spiders. We cannot command spiders, the shaman Tarhex strikes back, but dark elves are known to do so. Slander! Ekral Athos hisses, pointing at the orc delegation. You do not see who strikes first, but the gathering erupts into a fierce melee in the blink of an eye. Weapons clang, shields crack, and painful cries echo in the hall once again. Drala rushes to the aid of her cousin while the orcs and dark elves strike out at all other parties. We will defend the dwarves because they're the ones who brought us here. I'm not joining the random other side. Taking your companions, you rush to the side of Drala. She is in the process of reloading her crossbow and nods in appreciation when she sees you. We must defend our dwarven compatriots and pull them out of the battle, she says, but before any of you can do anything, you are beset by orcs and dark elves on all sides. All right, here we are. Now, you guys shouldn't be fighting on the same team, right? You should be duking it out with each other as well as me. It'd be funny if there was a 3-way battle. I know that's not how Vagrus works, but I like the idea. Get stunned? Haha. Now, The most dangerous guy here might be this dude, but I'm gonna go for this orc in the middle. If we can wipe out the orcs. Nice dodge. Don't move to the front. Ow, crit. I knew that guy was dangerous. Shield bash him. All right, Finderath, chain lightning. Good move. Cursemonger, what the hell does that do? More chain lightning, please. A 6 on the orc is fantastic news. Stop that. I don't know what it does. What does this move do? I'm gonna try it. I'm gonna back up. She didn't hit him. Or maybe she did? He's still alive. Aha! Good dodge. Finish this guy's life. Oh, so orcs have this ability that when they hit 0 health, sometimes they like withstand death, but they can only do it one time. So that guy just triggered it as well. Good dodge. Drala, you're a beast. Yeah, hit this guy again. Didn't kill him, but close. Yeah, take out the orcs. The orcs are dangerous. And then you kill the mage. He's toast. And then lightning blast. That went pretty well. We took a little bit of damage, but overall it was not that bad. You and your companions successfully break the foe. Subsequently, they fall back from the hall and flee into the darkness of the Forsaken City. Chased by your ad hoc allies, only your small company and the dwarves remain. Karendar gathers his people and they begin tending to the wounds, while Drala walks up to you after ensuring her cousin is unharmed. The bloody spiders can return any time, Vagrus, she tells you hastily. Karendar wants us to move to safety as fast as possible. You can rejoin your comitatus soon, I promise, but you should come with us now to Dolan's Hole, our fastness. There you can talk to my cousin before returning safely to your crew. You do not argue. Soon you and the dwarves you join the dwarves as they set out, leaving the hall behind while hauling their wounded and their dead. We gained weakened and lost resourcefulness, so we're kinda in it. I love the art in this game. You walk the narrow corridors and vast halls of Khazran along with Karendar's band. The dwarven leader takes point and dictates a brisk pace. He is seething quietly for a while, but when Drala joins him, you overhear Karendar give voice to his ire. What an absolute disaster. Curse upon these fools for being willfully ignorant of the sole path ahead. And a curse upon me, I suppose. What a fool. Morrisbund to hope. Your hope was against hope, thus not in vain, Drala soothes him. All of us believed that this tunnel had to be explored. Ah, still. Karendar's armored hands curl into fists. I was so close only to fail. And Lothric, Kurdo, gone. Can't say if Hargrim will make it. Drala doesn't reply, but due to their distance from yours and the group, you cannot make out what she is saying. Aruki joins you, matching your walking speed. So, she gives you a grin, apparently not irked by the setback in the slightest. You've made it. I'm glad, Vagrus, and soon Karendar will be too, once he gets to know you. Turning up right at this portentous moment, a clear sign that you are meant to aid us in our endeavor. Of course, there's much to be gained for you too. You ask her if she speaks for Karendar, and Aruki's subsequent expression is difficult to read. I might, she says mysteriously after a while. He listens to me. You'll see. For now, we're here. You look ahead and where there is light, and the dwarves dim their lanterns as you approach a massive archway. It leads into another vast hall. Dude! Look at this! Look at this guy! Neat! The enormous hall that makes up a large part of Dolan's Hole used to be Doomgarok's marshalling grounds. It is an open forum in the front of a gigantic gate that leads into the underground fortress. This place has seen better days. One wing of the magnificent, impossibly thick stone gate fell long ago, and although the great ruined pillars that support the ceiling up above remain stalwart, much of the stonework is cracked and fallen off. The expedition occupies the far side of the hall just beneath the fort, and they also have expanded into the fastness itself. Their tents and barricades are interspersed with stockpiles and mounds of sorted debris. They are also a testament to what a few score dwarves is capable of when their minds are set. Great stretches of scaffolding cover many walls and several pillars close by. Some of it is for support, but here and there masonry is being repaired and supplemented. The two bastions that frame the gate are also turned into inhabited fortifications despite their decrepit state. You can imagine that in the event of an attack, the expedition can retreat into the gatehouse and hold fast for an extended period, although how much the cracked walls can protect against those pale spiders is difficult to say. The dwarves here seem genuinely joyous that their companions have returned, though Karandar is less enthusiastic. He talks briefly to his lieutenants and then enters the gatehouse tower on the right-hand side. Others convey what happened during the talks and the camp scenes concerned, especially after hearing about the fallen. They take the 2 bodies to prepare them for their final rest and tend to the wounded. Iruki turns towards you and approaches once Karandar's party breaks up to return to their tasks and quarters. She joins you presently. "Welcome to Dolan's Hold, Vagrus, home of our expedition," Iruki says warmly. Drala joins the 2 of you, accompanied by a stalwart dwarf in a suit of armor only very few people can attain or afford in this day and age. "Captain Thabron Captain Thabron, this is the Vagrus I mentioned," Drala tells the man who lifts his face guard and bows his head. Most of his solemn, weathered face is obscured by a great beard and mustache. "You introduce yourself." "The good captain is responsible for our protection and looks after this camp while we're away," Iruki chimes in. "The captain does much more than that, of course," Drala comments, clearly not amused. "Of course," Iruki says with a curious smile. Her insinuation is not lost on Drala, who scowls. "May you be welcome, Vagrus. My warriors and I are at your service should you need us," the captain intones in his low, gravelly voice before Drala can express her indignance. You tell him that you will. "For now, I would advise you to talk to Karandar, Vagrus," Iruki tells you encouragingly. "That is why you are here, I presume." "In that, at least, we are in agreement," Drala says with a heavy sigh. "Come with me, Vagrus." You take your leave of the others and accompany Drala to the tower base. You enter alone and ascend the stairs to Karandar's quarters, your steps echoing loudly. Warmth and light escape through the archway at the very top, flooding into the darkness of the stairwell. "Come in," you hear Karandar say from inside. You enter and hail Karandar, who is standing by the fireplace, gazing into the flames. "Greetings, Vagrus. I wish we could have met at a better time," he says as he turns to you and offers you a seat in what looks like his office. A sturdy reclaimed desk sits at the far end of the chamber, and beyond, a stone archway leads out onto a small balcony overlooking the gate and marshalling grounds. The walls of the office are bedecked with maps and sketches and the odd trophy, while several shelves are laden with books, scrolls, ledgers, and stone tablets. "I haven't the opportunity to formally introduce myself," your host says solemnly and now bows his head respectfully. "I am Karandar, leader of this expedition. I hear Iruki told you to talk to me because I have a proposition to put to you. Indeed, as you've seen yourself, we're in dire need of assistance, as we seem to be stuck here for the time being." I feel like he's trying to be leaned into a weird, like a more folksy style voice, and I've given him like a very heroic voice, so I'm just gonna stick with the voice I gave him. You take a seat at the desk and Karandar does the same, but not before offering you refreshments. After you take them and tell the dwarf leader that you indeed have talked to Iruki and that Drala has explained a lot of their current predicament, yet the origins of their expedition and goals remain a mystery to you. "Admittedly, I've impressed upon all of our people not to divulge much about our quest to outsiders," Karandar explains after a brief moment of contemplation. "A precaution you must understand in a land such as this. However, you were brought here by my cousin and she spoke highly of you. I trust her intuition as a rule, as do I follow Iruki's recommendations. Thus I think I can safely reveal our purpose to you." Karandar holds a pause and perhaps to be dramatic. "This expedition came together after I and some of the founders decided to forego sitting idly while our ancestral realm of Dvendarthar wastes away irrevocably. Its magnificent knowledge and forgotten wonders await those who are daring enough to venture into its inner confines. Specifically, we have decided to reach Doom Ozkalar, thought impossible for over a millennium." You express your doubts. Tell Karandar that is a bold and enterprising venture. "The journey will be unimaginably perilous, of course," the dwarf continues in a serious tone, "but in the end it'll be stuff of legend, I'm certain of it. No wonder it's taken us decades to prepare everything. Now we have most of the pieces in place, as you can see." Karandar sighs. "Most pieces," he goes on, a frown creasing his features. "Alas, we now seem to be in a spot of bother. The plans for our push into the mountains and the heart of Dvendarthar rely heavily upon being able to create a supply chain. For this reason, we always wanted to come here to Doomgarok and claim its resources, the most important of which at this time is the abundant clean water and great mushroom fields of the lower caverns. However, as you've learned, Vagrus, newcomers to this ruin have already settled in the time we arrived. The Venomous Fang tribe came here first. They would tell you that the spirits of their ancestors led them here, but I doubt that. What progenitor of an orc would know about the forgotten homes of our forebears? The dwarf expedition leader waves his hand dismissively. Then came the Sardaukron clan, dark elves who fancy themselves pioneers. He goes on with a pronounced smile. In their arrogance, they proclaimed themselves the inheritors of Doomgarak, even though no elves had anything to do with the seat of my ancestors. Fighting soon broke out between these parties, and even got worse with the bloody spiders assailing everyone. Karandar shakes his head solemnly before concluding. As you've seen, I've tried to negotiate a peace, but these fools won't budge. Drala was right, perhaps, that it was doomed to failure. Ask him about the warring factions. The host points at the map of the mountain hold and indicates the enormous lower caverns. The orcs have been here for decades, which complicates things, Karandar explains. They've settled in here, see, and none of the original squatters are alive now. That means these orcs see Doomgarak as their home and will not be easily displaced. One has to admire their tenacity, truly. Ever since their arrival, they've been fighting off the accursed spiders, and it never broke them, even when they were losing members of the tribe right and left. Believe it or not, these savages have even adapted their spirit faith to their new home, donning spider pots as war trophies and building totems that shockingly make the arachnids think twice. That ability to bend and change to survive is something I admire, although I often find it equally repulsive. If you cannot hold on to what you are, do you truly survive? Karandar points to the highest district of Doomgarak on the map, which looks like an inverted castle of sorts. Which brings us to the Dark Elves, he continues. They are a proud people and very organized, qualities close to my own heart. I've gathered that they are uncompromising in their efforts to establish a foothold here, but whether Doomgarak is to be their own fiefdom or if they represent their clan, the Sardaukron, it is difficult to gauge. I haven't been able to get their commander to divulge that, which is very elf-like if you ask me. Secrecy and subterfuge. Worse, they make use of foul magic, curses and incantations that carry the stench of demons. Effective as they may be, you might want to sully your soul with dark deeds like that. Yet, undeniably, along with their disciplined martial prowess and masterwork equipment, it provides them with an edge and makes them confident. All this adds up to an arrogance that makes them deaf to reason. Karandar opens his arms in a gesture of despondency before adding, and so here we are. You ask him what he is planning on doing. I am contemplating our next move, he admits. These last developments are all too fresh. Just then Iruki enters, and she must have sneaked up the stairs very quietly. You know all too well what needs to be done, she tells Karandar softly with an encouraging smile. I'm sorry to both of you, but I overheard the last bit, and I can't help but wonder if time spent brooding on the daftness of these usurpers is not ill spent. She reaches Karandar and places a hand on his shoulder. Beloved, you are carrying too much already, and you do not carry the weight of the shortcomings of your foes. For foes they are, and they deserve to be dealt with as such. Eru, when we set out to do this, we agreed we wouldn't cross certain lines, Karandar tells her with a tangibly warm timbre. How are we to reach for the nobility of the ancestors if we are no better than the savages and marauders who plague our forefathers' halls? Are we to forfeit our dream, then? Iruki demands, though not unkindly. Let go of all we have bled for, that you have worked so hard for. Now some of our own lie dead or maimed because of the stubbornness of these villains, and you still defend them. She pauses, her stern expression softening as she strokes Karandar's beard. I know your heart. You desire to allow everyone to live as they see fit, to grant them the freedom you've granted me and many others. But your instinct betrays you this time. They don't deserve your kindness. See them for the obstacle that they are and remove them. Karandar lets out a long, solemn sigh. You are right, of course, he admits, and then glances at you, and so does Iruki. You ask her if that is why you were invited here. Of course, Iruki acknowledges brazenly. I told you that we have a proposition, as you already had a reputation as someone who can get things done. Karandar was right in avoiding confrontation with these disparate factions because we are not numerous enough to prevail. By ourselves, that is. With you and your comitatus, well, that is an entirely different story. Obviously, we aren't asking you to do this out of the kindness of your heart. We are in the business of, well, business. Indeed, Iruki speaks sense, Karandar chimes in, seemingly convinced now that the course of action. Our expedition is certain to encounter more riches and curios than we could ever carry back, so I'm more than happy to share. But more importantly, you would reach places nobody has seen for 1,000 years. We'd write history and become rich beyond your dreams. You should see my bank account. A godsend, that's what the Vagrus is, Iruki says, smiling proudly. Karandar's eyes are sparkling now with a curious, almost maniacal light. Aye, he intones. Let us be partners in this venture, Vagrus. Let us reach the forgotten reaches of this ancient kingdom. Yes, but, Haruki butts in, we must decisively conclude the war for Doomgarak first. You ask them how exactly they want to go about it. Okay, we're gonna pause the episode there, and we will pick up next time with the thrilling conclusion of our decision on how to help the dwarves. So, if you guys enjoyed the episode, please click the like button. It helps me out a lot. If you want to see more episodes of Vagrus The Riven Realms or the other videos I have going on the channel, subscribe to the channel. Make sure you have your notifications on so you know when the next videos go live. But until next time, everybody, I hope you had a good one, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye-bye, everybody!